Okay, we're live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good
How
morning.
you feeling? How
I'm
was your
feel,
week?
I'm feeling great. This week was good. You know what I mean? Like my weeks are good. Like even even with circumstance like that, I don't think that ever stops. Right?
hmm
Like
It
we're always
doesn't.
going to be facing stuff. Right? My level of stuff is different now because I'm doing all these other things, but I really, even though it's challenging at times,
hmm
I really like it. Like I really enjoy my life. You know what I mean? Like I'm having a good time. I'm putting myself out there, showing up.
hmm
You know, when faced with changes and shifts, this is why I really like construction in a way. Like development. I really like
Oh,
because it's like an adventure. You have no idea what's gonna happen.
that's so
Like,
true.
like you just don't know. Like you could go into so we had so I'll just share one little thing. So
hmm
I had to get an environmental study done on the property.
Well, you know what? Let's just do a quick update anyway, because we
Yeah,
haven't really been updated about what's happening with the
yeah,
property. So where are we? And then explain what that is.
yeah. So in order to go like to close on a grant with the city, they have to assess the property. So essentially they have to know what is around it in the ground. Like
hmm
they need to know like if there are any toxins in the soil or any of those things, because it impacts the what's happening around there, right? So the site was an auto mechanic shop at one point. So the the environmental came back that there's going to be some remediation that has to be done, right?
On the land.
Which is another cost. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I wasn't even thinking about that. It
Mm.
wasn't. It wasn't even in my thought
But
because I've never done this before. Like, I have no clue
hmm
about any of it. So yeah, so it's like now and so things are changing, right? The market is different. So when
hmm
we created the budget, the market shifted. So
I do.
now,
Yep.
materials are more expensive because of the tariffs, right?
Mhm.
And so people are adding costs on to the supplies and the materials that we need to build out the space, right? And then, and then my general contractor tells me that the city, if you're doing any project with the city, you have to include prevailing wages for all workers. So all the people working on the project the construction part, they have to make union wages. So he explained it to me. He said, so he's like, I pay my guys $50 an hour. And so prevailing wages is like 95. And I was like,
That's a big.
okay. You know what I mean? I mean, at first I was like, so he's telling me, and I'm just like, well, I kind of like that because I want to make sure the people that are working on my projects
Hey,
are paid union wage. Like, that's great. You know what I mean? That's how I thought about it. But as the developer, that's an added cost
hmm
that I got to pay. So that those are the things that when you're doing business with the city, any type of municipality, you got to go through their structures, their ways of doing things. I don't mind it at all. I just now my budget has completely shifted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, but look, all the other stuff I've been doing. So, I've been
The best part of this process, because yes, you have the other stuff when you're developing,
yeah.
but what's been the best part so far?
I think the best part is building it out, like building out the foundation, the structure, like the actual framework of the space, like the programming and things like that. That's what I really like, because now I get to share me. That's me. You know what I mean? Now I get to create what
Create.
create what my programs, what I want to share with the world. You know what I mean? Like, this is my art. This is what I get to. So I don't really like writing grants, but I found myself like excited to write them. Like I'm excited to write the.
I'm excited for, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, before I write these grants for these people, girl, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't stand this shit, But now I'm writing it for me. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much fun. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just reconnect with my creativity, with my writing. Just getting to know myself, confidence. Like I feel confident about what I'm doing, even though I don't know.
Even though you don't. That's good.
Even though I don't know what the hell, you know what I mean? But it's like, I know the seed grant that I got. Getting that seed grant to me is like that to me knows that I just got to keep on going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, now I got to water the seed. Now I got to make sure that the sun it gets all the elements so it can grow, right? Which just takes time, so.
Yeah, it does. Hold on one second. My dog is knocking, so I have to let
the door.
It's crazy. It's just crazy.
I knew it.
I did too when she went out there. Okay, now go about your business. Go away. I knew it. I knew she wasn't gonna stay the whole time.
Yeah, she just played you.
She just goes in and out all day. I didn't even realize how much I got up and let her out and got up to close the door all day when I'm in the house until I saw a reel on Instagram of another lady saying, who else, like basically saying she the only crazy person who gets up and opens and closes the door for her dog. And that's when I realized I do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She'll just come sit in my face. So I'll go let her out. And then when she comes in, when she feels like it, I got to get up and close the door.
Yeah. That is hilarious. Dogs, girl. They're family. You got a family member right there.
Right here. Man. Man. Okay. So what phase of this project are we in?
We're in I would say, like, pre-construction phase.
Okay.
So I've engaged the architects and we've started to plan out. He gave me a plan of like his process, because in order to start construction, we need the actual drawings, right?
Right.
So the general contractor knows what he's doing. But that all has to go through the city. So, and I didn't know this part, which I think is an important part of the process. And people don't really talk about it because people always talk about how the city process is so slow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there's a caveat. You know what I mean? But the caveat does cost money, right? Mm-hmm. That's the other part, is like, you got to have the right, either the right people or you have the money to go through the system this way. But there's always a back door. There's always a way around. So the architect is a self-certifying architect. So they are able to certify plans in the architect office. So the GC can pull the permit. It doesn't have to go through the city, which takes
the long route.
Years. Right now, I'm exaggerating, but it takes it can take 6 months before.
And in the construction world, that's expensive because you still have costs.
Yeah, because you're waiting for 6 months. So imagine if you purchase a property, right? If you purchase a property and you're financing the property, that
What's
means
the change?
you got to pay every month on the finance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some
Ooh.
loans give you like they'll give you a break, like for the first year you don't have to pay anything, so you at least have a year. But sometimes projects take 18 months before they get started. I mean, because it of all these factors, right? Like we still have to remediate still.
Mm-hmm.
So they got the property owner. I don't own the property, so there's a cost. I'm not paying all of that.
Okay.
So property owner is going to pay to get to remediate the land, so we can start construction. Now the GC can start demo. Once he could go in and start demo at pretty much any time. I don't think you need a permit for that, but to actually start the build out, you do. So
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know all this stuff before, so it's cool. Like I mean, I could take this anywhere. This is like a skill set now. Now I got a
Mm-hmm.
skill set,
Mm-hmm.
and working with the city in this development process. It just adds more value to everything
Yeah.
that I'm. So that's the
There,
other part.
there's this book that I'm reading as I hear you too. It's Who Not How. It's really
Yeah,
good too. And
that's good.
I'm actually reading it because I read it the first time like last year. But now that I'm in a space of like really building a team, because I find myself having to do a lot of things that I just don't know how to do. And I'm like, at this point, I need a who. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Or at least like be there to walk through the process with me. So that could
yeah,
be a good revisit.
yeah. I'm about there right now because like and I got like two people on my mind that keep on popping up in my mind that I'm gonna reach out to kind of help with some of the work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm pretty much at my threshold at this point. Like
Mhm.
so many things that I can do, but then there's a lot of things I don't want to do anymore. You know what I mean? Like I just don't have I just don't have the
Yeah.
capacity. I don't
Yeah,
have
no,
it.
that's real. Because this is a whole new thing.
And I don't want it. Like,
Yeah.
knowing things I think are great for discussions or visioning or like the conversation, but the actual like on the ground kind of
Mhm.
day to day type of thing, I'm like,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
that's like people management, like managing people. I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like
That's the
I don't do
truth.
that, man. Like I want we go talk this shit out. We gonna talk it out. I don't manage people. People
Yes.
do what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so like I'm not that. So people don't know how to work with me a lot of times because they expected me to give them like all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I've never been good at managing people. I don't think people need to be managed. You know, I think it's
Yeah.
all conversation. You tell me what you could do. Now go do it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
You say this is
Yep.
what you do. Go do that thing,
Yep.
and
Because you
then
the
come
who.
back to me with
And
the
just
with yeah with
the
the evidence.
update. Because you the who. So you got the how. That's why you here.
Yeah, look. So that part is hard. That I found that is not that's challenging for people to step into like managing their space and time. Like I don't. That's on you to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do that. I'm not gonna look over your shoulder and call you every day to see what you're doing and ask
Mm-hmm.
for a task list. I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is, when I be in these meetings, like board meetings are, you got your board at the table, okay? This is the time where you say, this is what I need you to do.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me what you need me to do for you. That's why I'm on the board. Or if you have a question about something, let's talk it out. Let's figure it out. You know what I mean? But and to update on different things like grants, you could just send that in a document. You don't need to go through like people. Girl, I'll be on some of these boards and the executive director they reading the damn report. I already read it. I already read the report. Why are you reading the report at the damn meeting? Like, I'm confused. Like, what? So I would say that stuff in the meeting and they'd be like, what? And I was like, okay, so the reason why we ask you to send the report beforehand is so we can read it and so we can ask questions.
Yes.
And have a conversation. You know, if you have something special you want to talk about, like say you had a conversation with somebody and it was a great conversation and you see like the possibility of kind of stepping into other things. That's cool. Like, I like that stuff. You know what I mean? But you don't have to put that in a report. It's more conversational. Girl, people don't know how to have a conversation. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
That's how they end up being. And then, girl, I just be sitting here like, I was on this one board and it didn't take, I don't even know why they invited me, because within the year, the actual organization was absorbed by another organization. So it was like I was in there and I'm trying to get my footing and understand what's going on. And how the dynamic, I did a ton of research on the organization and it was very corporate at one point. And they were trying to do more neighborhood activation, which I thought was cool. But the executive director didn't want to do the work. She didn't want to do the work. And I'm just like, I'm saying her, I'm like, I thought that's why you asked me to be on the board, was to help you connect with the people in the community. And you sitting up here dilly-dallying. Girl, I said, let me get off of this. I couldn't understand. I didn't understand it. I was like, so I said, you know what? When I get my board, I'll show y'all how it's done. I'm just like, no more boards. I'm done. Done with boards, because people they don't get them. I think it's like, we're your.
I think what it is too, because I'm learning, even as I'm rebuilding my board now, like the true function. And so what I'm realizing is that a lot of the times when we get into nonprofits, it's really for like, it's a passion. We're passionate about it. We start the nonprofit. You need 3 people to start to be on your board first. And so you kind of start off a certain type of way. And unless you get like some mentoring or somebody to come in and be like, yeah, you know what I mean? You really do scale that way. And so then you get real people on people on the board who's actually served on the board and understand how it works. And they're like, what the fuck is this? And the person truly doesn't know, because she probably ain't did board training for her board, no mentors. We really don't get mentors like that. You know, like literally as I'm rebuilding my board more intentionally so, and the person I'm working with is just like, yes, they should be running the actual meetings. You should not be actually running the meetings. Your board should be strong enough to run the meetings. They should be able to recruit board members. Like this is the things that they should be doing. When you go into those meetings, you should not be leading them. You know what I mean? Like if you're being real, and from my position, and for me, I'm like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? But that's just something I wouldn't know. If I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. In the beginning, it's really about creating the foundation and the framework of how how everything is going to run, not only the organization, but the board. The board has to be trained, just like you train the employees or the people that work in the organization. They have to go through training.
Yep.
But you got to onboard people into the organization and the culture and all the rest of these things. Girl. So I've done extensive research. I've been on too many boards. I think the best one was like, I was on this one board. It was like, it was so messy. And I saw the mess coming. I saw it. I saw it coming, girl. And I had to get off of the boat. So I pulled over.
You had to literally jump ship, huh? I
got off. I said, nope, you wasting my time. I got off the boat. And it was like, it was so funny because, like, whenever I would see those people out in the world after that, they had a completely different, like how they approached me was completely different. It was so funny. It was but yeah, I don't do boards anymore. Unless I'm invited to a board that really has like
structure.
That has a lot of structure.
Yes. Structure.
A lot. Like, what exactly am I going to be doing?
What is my responsibility? Yep.
Like, because like I don't have a whole lot of time, and you have to align with my life.
Yep.
Going on. So it's nothing but me like picking up the phone and calling somebody, or me just donating some money or getting somebody else to donate money. like it's gotta be because I just don't have time.
That's real.
Yeah.
Like what I'm literally creating right now is a board packet. So literally what it includes is the vision, the mission of the organization, how we're pivoting, how we're moving, and then exactly what you just said, a breakdown of the board and what the responsibilities are, what the expectations are. And the idea is that I'm gonna go ahead and get that to you ahead of time so you can check it out and see if it's something that aligns with you. Oh, well, hearing you say that makes me feel like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. Because, man.
You could do this at any time. Ain't no specific time to do this. You could have a board that's been around for 10 years. You could always shift and change it around, right? But people just get so used to familiarity. People, it's like, it's like that domestic violence kind of thing, right? That's what they call it, Stockholm syndrome or whatever. That person gets so used to being a victim that the victim, you
start to look at your abuser as like,
that's my love. That's the love of my life. You know what I mean? Steady beat your ass. You know, that's familiar, right? So people don't like to
change.
Yeah, they don't want to rock the like, hey man, I don't want to do that. I just want to be familiar with it. So hey, you can do this anytime.
That's a real thing. This is a good conversation about nonprofits. I'm gonna give me one more second. I'm gonna let her out. This is now you hear her cussing at me. This means
it's okay.
Girl, this is crazy.
I love it. It's like a little kid.
It's because she's bored. There's no action happening outside, so she don't have nothing to bark at.
Right. She's trying to find.
We slept in, so she's not sleepy.
Right.
So now she got to just go back and forth. But I think this is a good conversation about nonprofits, and maybe one that we can break into parts. Because it just goes back to why do certain nonprofits scale and why do others not? And when I when I think about the numbers and how many nonprofits there are in Illinois, it's a lot. It's so many. You know what I mean? And then, but only a certain percent of them actually scale, and they really are never ours. You know what I mean? And I think that that's something to be talked about and to be noticed. Like, we can't just keep starting nonprofits because of love and out of passion. I mean, we can, but if we want to scale, then we do got to be willing to get out of our comfort zone, and we do got to be willing to grow and adjust with the mission so that we can be more effective in these nonprofits in our communities.
Yeah, you know, I agree, like wholeheartedly agree with that. I just want to add one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is, I really personally think we should have as many nonprofits that we do. I think nonprofits have become
You said we should?
No, I don't think we should.
No.
I agree. Because it's become a way to generate income and money. It's a way, it's become another kind of business model that it really runs on donations, right? I think that we should I mean, if you go to other communities, right? Like if you go to, they don't have as many nonprofits as we do in our community. And so I have always had to ask myself, like, why is that? Why you go to the west and south sides and there's a million? Like there's some enormous amount of nonprofits in Austin. And I'm just like, but we can't get no damn grocery store. Like, what is that?
What are we doing?
Like, you know, so it's become this way where people can make a living. And I have to question. Like I question it because it's become a kind of a way of doing business in Black community. And I don't think that that's how we generate generational wealth. It's through ownership, and it's through, you know, it's through so many other means. So I mean, that's why in the kind of nonprofit I'm creating is not about making millions of dollars, right? Like if I'm making millions of dollars and it's a nonprofit, then maybe we should become a for-profit. Like if you're generating a budget that's millions of dollars, it's like, why can't you do that in a for-profit space, right? Because I think that that's where we can do other things. But these businesses that are nonprofits, they don't really serve a lot of the time. These larger nonprofits don't serve the community. Like
that's my point. That's exactly my point. As a community, when we start having these nonprofits, we have to learn how to scale so that we know that we're going to put the money back into our communities.
Right, exactly.
But we don't know how to scale, so we don't scale. Right. And then I think, go ahead. But I was going to say, again, to your point, like with there being so many nonprofits, I think the other problem is too many people wanting to carry like this leadership role and not understanding what it actually entails. And so people just wanting to start a nonprofit to say that they started a nonprofit, you know, to say that this is what they're doing. I had somebody come to me one day, and it was a couple of years ago. They're like, you know, I love what you're doing. I feel like I want to start something just like that. I need to sit down and pick your brain. And in my head, I'm thinking, why not just come work with me? And then when you feel like you're ready, branch off. You get what I'm saying? But it's like, why not just work with me so that we can, and then you're learning as we go, real time. I think it's just the idea that we want to have what we want to say that we started it. And again, we don't understand the responsibility that comes with it. So then we just end up having it. And, you know, just kind of hustling the nonprofit. So now you end up with 16,000 nonprofits, you know, and it's like, that's not very productive. So now you got all of these different nonprofits, not necessarily knowing how to scale, but still going after all of the same money. So now when you get the money, you can't even really be that impactful because you don't really have a team. You know, it just becomes one of those loops. And so it's just like, at what point do we decide, and I'm being real specific to like Black nonprofit leaders do we decide in our communities to really take the leadership role seriously, to learn how to scale for real so that we don't have to depend on these corporations and bigger companies to give us the money? You know what I mean? We could do it for ourselves. We could become the funding company, the funding nonprofit for other smaller, because not everybody gonna learn how to scale and not everybody's interested. Some people genuinely just love what they do at the level that they're at. You know what I mean? But some of us got to get serious now, because if we want our communities to change, it's going to be because we decided to grow and change, and we gave back.
I agree.
And we did what we're supposed to do.
Totally agree. Yeah, I mean, I think we should be our philanthropists, right? Like, we should be really
only way.
We should be the ones that are putting back into the community, and not just generating or creating a nonprofit to look good. And I agree with you. Like, there are plenty of spaces that I think could do what you just said by joining together and working with each other. They could actually fulfill on what their mission is, right? And a lot of times, a lot of these organizations are so, like, the people at the head are, like, this is mine, and it's like,
it's not.
It's not yours.
It's not. That's the whole thing. It's actually not yours.
It's a we us thing, right?
So it's like, this is one of those things where it's like, we might as well work together and scale. Neither one of us are going to be here forever in this. You get what I'm saying? Like, so if this is something that you really wanted to do, then why not just hop on board and learn and then go? Like, so that already tells me something that I need to know. Like, I don't know that you should be leading right now anyway. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's just like a leap out there. Cause I know for me, if I'm learning something new and I want to learn from somebody, cause I want to do it, I'm absolutely going to go learn under you. I'm gonna go learn cause I want to see real time what's going on before I jump into it.
Yeah. I think you're a little different though. Like, I don't think a lot of people want to do that kind of work. I've met so many people who just don't. They want to, like, police other nonprofits into giving them into I mean, this, like, agitating other people, like, you're not doing, or just, like, trying to do that gotcha thing. To me, that's like, I just don't understand it, because you're taking all your energy and not focusing on the work you're here to do. You're more upset at the other people not doing what they're doing. What you think
they should be doing.
Right. And so, like, there's a lot of, girl, look, I've been doing this for so damn long. I had to take myself out. I had to pull myself out of this kind of, like, confusion and murkiness, and because I'm in these spaces and I'm like, whoa, these people, do they read what their mission is? Do they even know what that means? Like, do they? Because I don't even think they understand the words that are in their vision, value, mission, like, all of that. And I just be like, because I love vocabulary. I love, like, I even love English. I'm like one of those weird, as a kid, I read all the time. And so
my degree is in English.
I know. That's why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
But folks they don't want to do the work of what it really means to, like, be transparent, or like, that's part of your vision or your values or whatever the hell, and you're using these terms, and I'm like, like, I've worked with some of these organizations. I'm like, wow, that's really dope. Really dope, right? And then I'll go and work for them, and I'm like, you know what that word means? Like, You know what I mean? Just like, I just, yeah. So I had to step back because I didn't want to be that policing. Like, I didn't want to police them. You know what I mean? My idea of work ethic
It's just different. It's not a lot. Yeah.
Energy and time into something, right? Like, I do things differently than a lot of other people do. And I'm unconventional. I do it. And I'm okay with that. Like, I had to be okay with the way that I do stuff, right? Because integrity is very important to me. And all that is that you do what you say you're going to do. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. You got to be that. You know, if you're integrous, that means a certain thing to me. And so, and I stand by that. That's how I stand. And so, like, I've met a lot of people that just don't have the same. They don't have the same, you know, meaning of that word. But then at the same time, I met a bunch of people that do. And so, not to make those folks, you know, not to put them on blast or judge them or anything like that, because that's not my work. I'm not here to do that. Not like that. We're here to dismantle, right? Systems, not people and organizations. I'm like, nah, man, that's not my fight. This is where I'm at. I'm over here. You know what I mean? So folks, they be looking at me crazy, right? Because I'll be in the room with people I don't like them. I don't like how they do shit. I don't like how they talk to people. I don't like how they run their organization. But I'll be in community with them because you know what? They are here. You know what I mean? Like, they're here. I'm not gonna judge them, and I don't have time for that. We got dismantling to do, right? We have dismantling of systems. This is gonna take the folks that I'm aligned with to create that.
Yeah.
And I think alignment.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. I go to these things, people be complaining and talk about all these people and all this and that, all these organizations, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, well, what's going on with your work? Like, what's up with you? Like, what are you doing?
And I think that's what ends up being the problem. A lot of the times when I notice the people who are complaining, it's a lot of the times a victim mentality, because the one thing that they focus on, like, they have one clear, like, one route to their goal, right? And so when there's a block there, they feel like they can't move forward. They stop instead of pivoting or figuring out a way around. They literally let it stop them, and then they complain about why they can't move forward or what's not happening or what they can get, or, well, you know what I mean? Like, those things. Yeah. And those are the people. And so those are the people who complain a lot about, like, the gatekeepers and things like that. And so for me, and I literally couldn't fathom it actually until I got into the community space for real. Perfect. About the community space. But I'm like, gatekeeper, like, I just never had those types of encounters, you know, like that. And maybe I have. Am I frozen? Is that me?
Yep. No.
Am I good or no?
I don't know. Is it?
You're kind of like,
you're good. You're good.
Okay. You're kind of like moving slow on your end. That's what I'm like, okay. Is it me? And going out. Uh-oh. I don't know what's happening. Okay, there you go.
How about now? Okay.
Hold on, let me see. I feel like it's coming back. You still kind of moving like in slow motion. I wonder.
Well, I think it'll clear up.
Okay, it should. I feel like it's getting better. You're starting to move faster.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, there we go. But yeah, it's like those are the people who get really caught up on gatekeepers because they feel like that's the only way through. And so that gate is closed. You're keeping it closed, so you're my problem.
Right.
And it's like, or you could just learn another way. You could just go around them.
Do the thing that you're here to do.
And you feel, but they feel like they can't do it because of the gatekeepers. So my mindset is go around them. It's always another way. It's always another way. And so while we're wasting time focusing on a way that you clearly believe is no longer the way right now, we can use that time to brainstorm other ways.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. That's a limited, like you said, it's that victim limited mindset, right? Where people, we live in an abundant space. Like you can access anything that you want at any time.
If you know that.
Right. And a lot of people don't know that. Like I had to understand too, like I was also doing the same thing. I was limiting myself. Right? Because when I was around these people or these situations or these things that would happen to me, I noticed, I'm like, man, there's something not aligned here. Right. So what I do is, I think we're very similar in that whole pivoting thing. I pivot until it's right. What feels right. Like even being uncomfortable, I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like things are moving. I feel like I've noticed like everything always works out when I'm in a aligned space. Like I might not know what's going to happen next, but I'm okay with it. But you're absolutely right. Like a lot of people don't get that. They're not getting that information. They're not like even like I have even people that I know that I've coached through like their most challenging times in their life. I'm just like, but don't you see how it's working out? Don't you see how it's working out? Like, it might not look like the way you want it to look, but it's working because you're still here and you're still doing it. You know what I mean? But people expect this thing, and it's like, no, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen like that.
This makes me think that I want to invite a guest on if we can, like next week, if she's available. She might be in church, but she just had an event yesterday. I facilitated the panel, and it don't have to be next week. It could be whenever, because maybe you all should meet first or whatever. But she has a movement called I Choose movement. And her testimony is insane, how she started it.
Yeah, I know her.
Crystal.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Fonda's friend. Yes, Fonda. Yep. So I think that's such a powerful thing because it literally comes down to what are you choosing to believe about life and about your position in life right now? Because the thing is, good and bad are always happening at the same time. And you literally have to decide the one that you're going to choose. So if you're going through chaos and you choose to only focus on chaos, then that's all you'll ever see. But if you're going through chaos and you choose to see what it's actually doing for you, then it gives you a different type of leverage and momentum to push through and persevere. It really does come down to a choice, and it's hard to look at your reality and not believe that it's as bad as it is and it'll always only be as bad as it is. Like I can understand how it's hard to look at a really fucked up situation and believe and find it hard to believe that it can get better or not be able to, but that's where faith comes in. And this is where with me, when it comes to faith, and people talk about God and faith all the time, but you really not walking in faith, because there's no way you could really have faith, look at a situation and not know that you could see something else. You know what I mean? If you really understood what it meant to have faith, because that's really all you asking people to do is just to believe. Faith of a mustard seed, just believe in the unseen. So yeah, it's chaos, and that's really what's in your face right now. Yeah. But and what I'm finding is that the most successful people, that's the difference between the most successful people and a regular ass person who gets stuck in their like victim loop. The difference is a successful person can be seeing the chaos and also know it's something on the other side, and they keep working towards that while they manage their reality. So they manage their reality while they also work towards what it is that they're working to. We get so caught up in the reality that we literally can't see anything else. And so we just keep producing the same reality for ourselves because we're not working towards anything different at the same time.
Girl, I mean, I think you just explained like 98%. No, I'm serious. Like people don't understand that. It's so easy. It's so easy. And it's not meant to be hard
at all.
It's really that simple.
It's that simple.
It's that simple. You know, it's like, but here's the other thing. You know, when people say, I don't have a choice. You know, when people say that, I don't have a choice.
You just chose to believe it.
Right. But here's the thing. When people say that to me, I always interject because I'm just like, you always have a choice. But that's whatever it is that you're going to do, that's your choice. You're choosing that. You're always choosing every moment of the day. Every moment. And at any moment, you could choose something else. But here's when people are closed-minded, and like you said, like sometimes you gotta sit. You gotta stop. You know what I mean? People don't stop. They just continue to choose the same thing all the time. Blah, 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 blah. They're not stopping. Ain't no stop.
They're on autopilot. So that's just
like, all you gotta do is sit back. When I'm faced with a situation, I you know what I do? I don't do anything.
So you can think.
I can think.
You got to be able to think.
I just got to sit for a minute. I just sit. You know what I mean? Sometimes I like go for a walk because sometimes walking kind of helps my head to be outside walking. Not on a treadmill. No, get out into a park, be around some
in nature.
And then I'll just sit. That's it. I won't do anything. No writing, no reading, no social media, nothing. Just sit. And I'm telling you, within 30 minutes, everything I need.
Yep.
It'll come to me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But that simple act, most people don't do. They can't sit for 30 minutes.
They can, yeah.
Yeah.
They can control their thoughts.
This is a trained thing. I did not know how to do that. I had to train myself. Sit my ass down. I had to have one of my coaches yell at me. He yelled, like literally, he's like, Vanessa, stop. He's like, stop. He had to yell. Because I was just like going down the fucking rabbit hole of shit. He's like, stop. And you know what happened after I just started crying. Like boo-hooing.
But you see what makes you dope too is that you knew when you needed assistance. So you went and got a coach. The average person,
they don't do that.
Will isolate. And when you isolate, that makes it even worse because now you're just left with your own same thoughts.
Isolate or numb. Numbing. We
live
in a space of numbing. People just fucking scroll all day.
Yeah.
Right? Or they just
convenient.
Right. Whatever that is. Like people just end up doing that thing, numbing themselves so they don't hear it. You know what I mean? Like,
but you got to know, like if whoever should find this, you do have to know that as long as you do that, you numb, you avoid, you stay in your cycle, like your routine of waking up, doing the same exact things. If you don't like the reality, but you still decide to wake up and stay in that routine, then what you have to know is that you will continue creating that same reality because you are literally, your habits are creating your days and your days are coming together to create your week and your week is creating your next week and then the next weeks and they come together to create your month. So if you're doing all the same things over and over and over and over and over again, then you're going to keep getting the same things over and over and over and over again. Now, why I do believe that some people, because I do believe that there are some people who know this. There are a group of people who do know this, but also know that choosing to do something different means now that you got to get uncomfortable. It goes back to now you got to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like choosing to know that you want to see your loop and recognize it and deciding to say that I don't want to be on this loop no more. I think sometimes people look at what it might cost them if they hopped off, and they get scared and they decide that it's not worth it and they stay on. But then when you do that, you're miserable because you know that there's another way.
Well, here's the other thing. Like, so this is first of all, this work that we're doing is not for everybody.
It's not. I mean, everybody should do it, but not everybody is going to do it.
Not everybody is at the same level of consciousness, right? Like, and we got to be clear about that. Like,
yeah.
And this, I'm saying this to us, to you and I, because like I know I attract people who I attract a lot of different types of people. I have to use discernment in being around certain types of folks, right?
Yeah.
And I'm faced with folks a lot of the time that don't have the same level of consciousness that I do. I'm a very thinker. I'm very intellectual. I like conversation. I love reading. I love writing. I love, a lot of different things. And the more and more I'm out here in this world, that people on the same level of consciousness as me they're very deep. Like they're very expansive. They do a lot of different things. You know what I mean? It's like they could tap dance and sing and do, like all those type of people, they're very multi-talented, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of level of consciousness that I'm at. I'm very high vibrational. Like that's where I'm at. And I'm not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like some people don't like to get deep. They don't want to see what's underneath. They don't want to uncover anything. They like mediocrity. They like their world the way it is. I'm not for those people. Because when you're around me, I don't even have to do anything. I'll go into a room and people just get bothered. Other people. And I'm just like, well, I don't have to do anything. I'll just be girl. And especially now, because I'm a little bit more quiet than I have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell when people are just kind of like uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even one of my business partners called me and asked me, because I was quiet. I've been really quiet. And he asked me, he asked me what's going on. And I was just like, I'm not putting my energy out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. You know what I mean? I'm not going to continually say things 90 million times. I'm going to say it once and I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, I think that we have to understand that not everybody is at the level of consciousness that we are. And it's okay. It's okay. I think they're there. Like, but if you want, like you said,
yeah,
I agree with what you were saying, is that when you take that step down that route of and then you become open and you see what has to get, the actions that you got to take to
hold on 1 second. My neighbor's trying to come through.
Okay.
He's out there barking at her. So
okay.
Here I come, Nate. Let's go. No, come on, crazy. Why you out there bothering that name? Every time. Hold on. Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
But you know what you made me think about again, that thank you, tell me more piece. I think that because even for myself, when people say, oh, you're very deep or that's deep, truly, I just didn't understand where that was coming from, because I'm just like, this is just a real regular question in my head. You know what I mean? But I just would hear people say it over and over and over and over again. I'm like, where is this coming from? I'm deep. Like, what? This is a real regular question in my head, So I think just also not even understanding sometimes, like, yourself, and like, or listening, like when people say, oh, that's deep, realizing like, oh, okay, I might be, thank you, tell me more. You know what I mean? Tell me more of that so that I can become more aware of myself, so that I can understand, you know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe that is too deep, or maybe it's that. But to your point, I think that the deepness comes not because you necessarily trying to go deep. It's because you just are multifaceted. You have so many different experiences that you're pulling from that maybe other people have not had those experiences. So when you bring it up or you ask the question, it's something that they never thought about before because they never had the experience. And so it's like, oh, that's kind of deep. And so I had to learn that, because I'm like, no, in my mind, I'm thinking that's not deep at all, you know, but then understanding to them, yeah, it is deep, you know, it is deep. And so I think for me, what I also have to learn is it's not a matter of wanting, like, understanding that not everybody can be a certain, you know, be on this journey. I think it's really for me a matter of understanding the journey that I'm on and what it's done for me, so that when I'm in the presence of other people, I can, because I can access and I can activate where they are too. That's why that's why we attract each other, because it's just a part of me that is in me that I've tapped into that maybe you're at. And when I understand that, then I know how to tap more into that part that's attracted us, you know what I mean, to be in that space. And so it doesn't necessarily make me feel like I'm being smaller. It just means that I'm focusing on this part of myself, which is a true part of me. That's why we attracted each other. And I'm not putting the other parts on you. You know what I mean? But that's for me being self-aware.
Yeah, it's all about you being self-aware. It's always about you, right? It's always about you. I don't think, like, I think that I know I have limited myself in how I am with people, right? Because, like, I have in the past, I wouldn't truly authentically be myself.
Oh, I see.
Because I am, this is me. This is this is my life. This is how I live. I like it like this. You know what I mean? Like, I like my life. I've created it. I love this shit, right? So when I'm in spaces with people that, you know, totally live differently, right? They, you know, and there's nothing wrong with the way that they do what they do, right? What I would do, I wouldn't be myself in a lot of these spaces. I would turn it off or turn it down, or, you know.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? And so what I notice is, like, not to cut those people out of my life. Let me be clear. Like, I don't cut people out of my life. I don't do that. Like, I saw this old friend of mine that I hadn't talked to in a while. And he was like, we hadn't talked, and I had his phone number in my phone, but he didn't have his. So he was like, what's your number? And he's like, let's see if you have my number in your phone. And I was like, well, your number is in my phone, because I didn't delete it. I don't do that. And he was like, what? I was like, I could show you, but my phone was dead. I was like, I would show you, but my phone's dead. But it did come up. He called me and it came up on my watch. And showed him. I was like, see, I don't have to delete people out of my phone, because there's no reason for me to.
Really not.
Because I'm myself all the motherfucking time. And if you don't like that shit, then you're gonna X yourself out. I don't have to do anything. You'll leave. Right? But when I see you again, and if you approach me, but you gotta approach me. I will never put out negative energy towards people, because I don't know what you're going through. I have no fucking clue. You know what I mean? I don't know. So you gotta come up to me, though. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna do that. And so he came up to me, and I was like, I appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm all love.
We're not holding on to nothing. Yeah.
I'm not on anything. I'm all love. So I have to understand that nothing that anyone is doing, right, or being, you know, deters, you know. It's just like some people just aren't for you all the time. Right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
so it's like, even when you see, like, I give everybody love, right? Even the people that I don't work with. I don't. There's no reason. Okay, so what? That person doesn't like that. So what? So
Mhm.
what? Who am I to say how somebody else should do what they do? I'm not fucking policing people.
You know, when onto that note too, like I had to learn, like I'm a very passionate person and I believe in the path that I'm on, meaning
Right,
nobody can talk me out of the path that I'm on.
right,
And for me, what I had to realize is if I believe that for myself, then of course somebody else is going to believe that for themselves. They're
right.
going to believe that because the reality is you have to believe 100% in the thing that you believe in if you want it to work. Now, so you got to know when to pivot and all of those things, but I'm just saying all that to say that it makes it so easy for me to just let people be on their path
Yeah.
because I know that they have to believe the way that they do. And so if we don't agree, then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, you got to go on your path though. So I got to respect it because I know what I'm doing and I know that nobody can really deter me. So it's like, and I respect that in me. So it's like I gotta respect that. You know, it's no reason for us not to be able to still be in community. Now we might not be aligned in the way that we see the work, and that's one thing. But being in community is totally different because totally different.
And this is why this is like really what I'm here to do, right? Like I really do believe this in my core because like I don't think people really understand what the word inclusivity means.
Mm,
I don't really think people do. Like people are completely exclusive.
yeah,
They do not include anybody in their shit.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm looking around, everybody in their little silos and doing that. You know what I mean? It's like I'm like, y'all don't know, you don't get it. Like they don't understand they role. So I used to talk to this one executive director of this organization, and we used to sit and talk all the time, and I used to always kind of push this inclusivity thing with him. And then once he got out of Chicago and started going into other spaces,
Saw that they were more inclusive.
right? And then he came back to me and he was like, Vanessa,
I
he's
understand.
like, I get what you're saying.
Mhm.
I really get it now. And I was like, good, good.
Yep.
But there's another part of that. but one step at a time.
Yeah.
And one step at a time. Like he got it, he's getting it, and he's even saying it. This inside of a lot of the work that he's creating, right? Because it's like you gotta include everybody. Everybody. We're not here. If you're in community, we're not here to talk about people.
And we got to be different because
We have
everybody has
to
a role. So yes, it's going to look different and it's going to be different from what you believe in too, but it all works together for the bigger thing. You get
right.
what I'm saying? Like everybody has a role.
It
Everybody
does.
has a role.
Right. So, I think that, like I love these conversations because I think that people and this, like and this is me, like I love deep conversations. It's not for everybody, right? Like and those people that get it that get understand that we're multifaceted beings,
Mhm.
right? Like there's more to us than just what you see. And
Yeah.
that's everybody, right? People
And
are
I will say on the flip side, for multifaceted people, you got to know that and you got to know what comes with you and how that also shapes and shifts different spaces. Because when we don't know that about ourselves and then we still go into these spaces,
right.
a lot of that responsibility, it falls on us.
I just don't, to be really honest, like if you don't know that about yourself, I'm not even going to come in contact with you.
Hmm.
Like I don't even come in contact with people on a like a relational level.
Mhm.
If you're like that, like I know I'm not, because I'm going to see it and I'm not going to be around it.
Mhm.
Right. Like, and then it's okay. Like I just don't have, I guess this goes back to capacity Like I don't have the capacity to do certain things, and that's one of them. And so like my energy is I don't have like I have to be very very clear about how I'm expending my energy. And it's partly because like I didn't even know this about myself until I got a little older. But if I'm around certain types of situations and people, it depletes me. Like I'm not able to create. It's like the last 8 months has really been about me like replenishing myself, like seriously replenishing myself, because I have been depleted. Yeah, I've been depleted dealing with situations and people and places and things that were not aligned. And then I just like, I mean, it was my life force energy was depleted, you know? And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Let me sit back. You know, not everybody can get on YouTube and stream conversation. Boom. You know what I mean? Like this, I'm at home right now with you.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm here to do. I love this shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, but not everybody has that same like conversation that we have, right? I gotta understand that the kind of person that I am is going to attract certain types of people. Like we have projects. Your project, and I'm gonna stop talking because we're gonna talk about it. But you're fundraising $1 million. How many people do you know that fundraise $1 million? I don't know a whole lot of people that do that.
I know, and I got to put it out there. I think it's going to be easier than what I thought.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Look, I'm right there with you. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I already got $1 million.
Yep.
The million's I already have the million. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking now that I know I could do $1 million plus, I'm expanding my fucking project. My footprint is expanding.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the only reason why, like, look, we're in conversation because you're fundraising $1 million. You know what I mean? That's the frequency where we're at. We are manifest. We can manifest that when we're in our energy, doing it the way that we do. What's in alignment for us is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not everybody like this, and not to diminish anybody and where they are, right? It's not a diminish. We're just at a certain level.
Levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, and I think this goes back to the original conversation, what you were talking about originally, like with what that person said to you and about you developing, like you accepting more, you know, like compliments and things like that, right? Right? Because you're at a level that you shining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what I'm realizing too, once you hit a certain level, you can't act like you don't know that about yourself, because you ask somebody for $1 million gift or whatever, and you don't already know and believe that about yourself. They can't be telling you something that you ain't ever heard when it comes to just, you know, those compliments things, or you think that, you know, you're being humble by, you know, deflecting or whatever the case. Like you get to a certain level, and it was a wake-up call for me. Like you get to a certain space and you're in rooms with people who expect you to be big. But I can understand how it's a struggle, because when you're in a space, and I don't even know that it's making yourself small, it's just you in a space where y'all just doing what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like you just moving, you're doing what you do. You get into another space and somebody else is like, that's huge and you should act like it.
Yeah.
And it's a shock at first, but you get to a certain level and just, people expect you to be big. They expect you to know who you are. They expect you to say that shit. They expect you to be able to name it, to know its impact, to be able to articulate it, to tell the stories. Like they expect that from you. So you got to have it.
Yeah. But see, like, I just want to be clear, like not everybody has
that
courage.
Yeah. Because it takes
to say that they're fundraising $1 million. Like seriously. Like that's not something that a lot of people do.
That's true.
So yes, you're at a level where, yes, with that, you have to do the thing, right? You got to create the action, right? So I'm putting together this package, right, for this funder. Now, the package it's a lot of work.
Expensive.
A lot of work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm seriously like think out my company. I'm building out this organization, and I'm creating the structure in which it's going to I'm going to give this to the funder. The funder is going to be like, wow, this is amazing. And because of this, and because of your partners, right? Because of your community partners and the people that you're working with, we're going to give you this money. Mm-hmm. But I had to get to the door and I had to knock on it, and they had to say, okay, come on in, because you could do this. So I'm getting support from them too. You know, they're supporting me, like under supporting me, mm-hmm. and giving me what I need. And that's what happens when you get to this space. It's all there for you, right?
All there.
I'm getting so much support. It's insane.
It'll make you want to retreat almost a little bit if you're not ready for it.
But see, that's the work.
That's the work.
That's the work. The work is you got to be like, okay, this is a lot. Like, I've been over completely through this process. Yep. But that's where I had to sit my ass down. Yep. And I got a list of shit. I have to list out like who the fuck I am. Like, this is what I've done. And that's to go over there, look at all those awards sitting on that table.
You literally got to do that.
I got to physically walk over, look at the shit.
Yes.
I mind myself, because look, I wasn't always like this. I was that person that was shy, that never said anything. I was that person that sat in the corner, that had no friends. I have well, not really that, but but I did, but I wasn't this person that I am now. Right?
Outgoing, in the front, all of those things. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there are little smidgets of it here and there, you know what I mean? But never 100% all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it is it's work.
Yeah.
Because I shouldn't say 100% all the time, because I'm not 100% all the time. It's just a greater percentage. I'm like this, I would say 98% of the time. There's a 2% where I'm like, okay, I gotta sit down. Remember, like,
I think for me, the way I describe it for myself is, because I don't even worry about percentages, because depending on what's happening, who knows where I am. But one thing that does give me confidence and just faith is that I know, like, my north, like I know the middle. You know what I'm saying? So so it's like I try not to get too high, or I try not to deviate too far in either direction from it. But when I do, I always know, and then I know how to come back. And so it's just like that flow for me.
Though. The work is that's the work. I think that's the difference between the people that fundraise $1 million+ and those that don't, right? It's the work that you have to constantly do with yourself. Because like this right here, I know people that do like are able to, you know, fundraise a lot of money, right? However, I think that this what we're doing by sharing the process of what we're going through is a whole nother thing. Mm-hmm. It's a whole nother thing, because this is, to me, this is purposeful, you know, this purposeful work. Like, it's not about it is about us, but it's not at the same time. It's just a reciprocal thing, you know. It's like giving back. So I don't know, that's something, that layer, I think is it's an important thing to just share.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we're at 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Yes, I see that.
This is a throwback. This is back in the day, like when we first started.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead, and as we start to round it out on this beautiful Sunday, I kind of like that it's a Sunday because now I'm like thinking about I'm gonna clean a little bit, do some work, set up my week, and I love that. Sundays or Mondays will work, but Sunday is good. Okay, and then my dog is getting ready to cuss me out again. So let's just our takeaway from today's conversation. It was a really organic one because it was a very organic one. It just kind of
blossomed. I like that.
Yeah, I love that.
I think that's what's missing in conversation a lot of time is this kind of organicness of, it
requires you to be present. And most people just already have in their mind what they want to say, no, do, and so they don't deviate from it. So you can't really be present.
Right. And I think that's something that kind of is very different in how we converse and how we connect. And I really enjoy it. So that I would say that is my takeaway for today is the beauty and love and connectedness that our conversations have.
Yeah.
And I like and if nobody gets it, that I'm okay with that. Like if I don't give a hoot and holler. I just really I like being with you. So
I enjoy it. I echo all of that.
As my my takeaway is this is what love looks like when you love yourself, and when you love being with people, this is what it looks like. And so I'm taking that away.
Man, you just knocked me out my socks with that. That was very good. And I feel like I want to echo all of that. I think that's it. No, I think that's it. No, I'm very grateful because I do realize that I'm not able to really converse this way with many people. So I'm always appreciative of, those people who can go there with me, and it doesn't feel like we're going there because that's good. I like that. It just feels natural and just like what we're supposed to go. We're supposed to do, and I love that.
I just like, it's like, and I think and I'm going to say this last thing. This is like the alignment piece, right? Mm-hmm. Like really being in alignment with who you are. It's radical.
Yeah.
That's a radical statement.
It's a revolution in itself.
Yeah, that we're creating in the world, right? Is like to authentically be yourself and be a little weird and deep and whatever the hell that is, right?
Yeah.
And being okay with it and being in love with it, right? Like I think that is such is such an important part of thriving in life. So thank you for the thriving conversation.
Yes.
You filled my cup. This is
totally thriving Sundays
on a Sunday, and now I got this overflow.
Yes.
So yes.
Set up the week. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, until next time, and definitely offline, let's pick a day this week to chop it up because I think we definitely can start to, move this a bit. So let's just offline, just text me at some days. That's good. Then let's touch base and brainstorm.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Sunday. Love you. See y'all next week.
Bye.